You have Myles Garrett, and everybody wants him. There's no way you can sit there and say into a microphone, I don't want Myles Garrett. But the reason why we have to maybe potentially make up for mistakes is to overpay for Myles Garrett. But you're hearing reports it's going to take 2 first round picks. And the smart people on the internet that are sharing information, draft and develop, or go out and get Myles Garrett. I think that it's still worth the risk to trade 2 first round picks. If you trust your evaluation and you feel like you can get more impactful defensive linemen later on, it's going to be determined, more people's opinions will be shaped by how Makai Wingo does. If Broderick Martin becomes a little bit more stout against the run, we'll see if some of the investments in Manu will end up paying off because you had a handful of picks of guys that could have participated but did not. So that's why that strategy is a little bit out there.
Mhm.
But can you revisit the question? Is it too much? 2 first round picks for Myles Garrett? I think that's what they're asking for. I think it's going to be kind of a Alex Bregman situation where maybe you wait it out and you get down to a 1st round pick and a later 2nd round pick. But for the Detroit Lions, I just think 2 first round picks with how the way Brad Holmes looks at things, I start to think that the tide could be, you can make the argument that might be too much based on the fact that I don't think Myles Garrett puts you over the top, even with what you have on this roster. Do you think the Lions got to take it carefully in regards to Myles Garrett? Or if it's 2 first round picks for Myles Garrett, do you make that trade straight up to bring one of the best defensive linemen in the NFL to the Lions?
I mean, we talked about taking swings earlier, and the reason I've been a little bit more patient with the Lions in terms of analyzing their draft and things and compared to how the Eagles have done it is because I think this could be the swing. Like I think this could be the investment that they make that puts them over the top. And I've been patient with it as far as with all the trade deadline stuff. Like everybody wants to go get the next big name, right? And a lot of times, unfortunately, in the NFL, it's not as realistic to see these big name type of players. Like you're not going to get a Luka Doncic type trade in the NFL, I don't think. But I think in this situation, if you're the Lions and it's 2 first round picks, you have to think about the impact that these 1st round picks could get you. They're going to be late in the 1st round. So you take into account that the player you get, the caliber or type of player you want at that pick might not be able to give you in the immediate term what Myles Garrett can give you. And I think if you're gunning for a Super Bowl in the next 2 years, while you've got guys like Jahmyr Gibbs on rookie contracts, then you've got to go after it, in my opinion. And I know there's some financial elements of this that need to be taken into account. And I don't have the exact numbers pulled up in front of me, but it's going to come with a cost. Like it's going to be tough to think about the fact that if you trade for Myles Garrett, you may also have to extend him. And now down the line, you're paying him a bunch of money and this, that, and the other. And so it's not like we should just throw all inhibition to the wind here. But I do think if this is the move you want to make and you need a big swing that you think will help take you over the top, this might be a risk they have to take. And you've got the young pieces in place. You have the guys on the rookie deal, some of your best players, Jahmyr Gibbs, Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph right now is still on a rookie contract. Aiden Hutchinson's on a rookie contract. You've got the avenue to make this a 2 year run here if you're the Lions. And so I think that if you take into account all the financial elements of this and all the other things that come along with making a move like this, and you sit down and you think, well, let's do it, then you've got to do it. Like there should be no hesitation if you feel good about it if you're Brad Holmes. I think they've got to do it. I think that now is the time because this roster is not going to be this cheap forever. And if you're Brad Holmes and you feel confident about letting Jamison Williams walk so you can find the next speedy wide receiver, then by all means, so be it. But guys like Aiden Hutchinson don't come around every draft class. I'd argue guys like Jahmyr Gibbs do not come around every draft class. Sam Laporta and how quickly he was able to acclimate. Guys like him don't come along every draft class. You're not getting a Penei Sewell in every draft class. I know they already extended him. Guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown are super rare. So the draft and develop thing, you're not going to be able to hold on to all these guys. So I think if you want to maximize the next 2 years, you have to make this trade. And you have to live with the consequences, be it with the salary cap or giving up the 1st round picks. You just have to live with it and you have to go for it. And if it doesn't work out, then Brad Holmes, I know this isn't gonna soothe anybody's emotions if it doesn't work out, but you can look back and say, you know what, he gave it his best shot because you traded for one of the best defensive players in the league. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, and that's something everybody's going to have to live with.